Good afternoon. My name is Recruit Youngkin, and I proudly serve as the class president for the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office 30th Basic Academy. I would like to warmly welcome all the members of the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office, Chesterfield County Police Department, and all those visiting the Independent Training Center today. At this time, I would like to introduce the class president for Chesterfield Police 86 Basic Academy, Kobe Carwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Recruit Carball of the Chesterfield County 86 Basic Police Academy. I'd like to take this time to welcome you all here today for this special event. It is an honor to have this special guest here, and without further ado, I would like to introduce the 74th Governor of Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Please be seated. Thank you. I first want to extend my deep appreciation for everyone taking time out of what I know are very, very busy schedules and coming together for us to just share a moment of reflection, but also to look forward at a Commonwealth that is doing extraordinarily well. And it's doing extraordinarily well because our Commonwealth is safer today. It's doing extraordinarily well because men and women like you all are willing to stand up and make the Commonwealth safer. It's doing extraordinarily well because we have role models on what it looks like when men and women in the Commonwealth of Virginia put others in front of themselves. And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for your commitment. I want to thank you for your willingness to serve. Most importantly, I want to thank you for the work that you are about to do, the work that makes Virginia such an extraordinary place to live. And so I want to thank all of you, and I will give you a standing ovation right now. So we're joined here by, I believe, two great leaders. Two great leaders in the world of law enforcement, two great leaders who I know well and call friends, so Colonel Jeffrey Katz and, of course, Sheriff Carl Leonard. Now, how do I know that they are good leaders? You see, I can speak with them, I can ask them questions. They have immediate answers and great perspectives and great counsel on so many topics. But the way I know they're great leaders is by looking at their teams. The teams that work with them, the teams that they support, and the teams they know that they actually work for. And one of the basic truths is that when we have great leadership, you have full teams. And one of the amazing statistics is for both of these men, the Chesterfield County Police Department, after this next round of recruiting, will literally have less than 2% vacancies. And our Sheriff's Department is not only fully staffed, but he's got to make some room because he's got so many people who want to come work for him. This is a statement about culture. This is a statement about caring. And this is a statement about teamwork. And I want to thank both of you gentlemen for your extraordinary leadership. Thank you. I also want to thank our two new friends. I've got two new friends today. I count all of you as being my friends, and I'd like to thank Jorge Catano, and I'd like to thank Kobe Carbaugh for your willingness to serve, but also for your leadership. Your fellow law enforcement heroes have decided that you were leaders, and I want to thank you for your leadership because we know the truth behind leadership. It is about serving, and when we serve one another, we in fact can lift an entire team up to a place that they didn't know they could go. Thank you for being great leaders, guys. Thank you. I had the honor in 2021 of coming here and conducting one of many listening sessions that I had the privilege of participating in across the Commonwealth of Virginia. And therefore, I could think of no better place for us to stop and, as I said, reflect, but also look forward. At the time, I was incredibly moved by the dedication of everyone that I met and everyone that I heard, the professionalism the detailed understanding of all aspects of law enforcement, and the ability to coach me and to help us make better decisions. And again, today, I am also inspired by that same dedication and that same professionalism. And all of the retired law enforcement folks that are here, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for having served, but also being role models. Being role models not just for those here, but for everyone in our communities. We are so much better that you are here. And again, I want to thank everybody for loving the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, just a few weeks ago, I had the great privilege of standing on the steps of our Capitol and signing the second budget that I have had the privilege of signing. The first was in the summer of 2021, and the second was in summer of 2022, and the second was in September of 2023. I was frustrated for all Virginians that this latest one took as long as it did to get done. We could have easily finished it back in February or March so that necessary raises and funding and tax relief would have already started. But I was very pleased that by the time we were done and I stood there with a 742-page document, that I was able to sign a document that I believe incorporated so many priorities and so many promises. It included another $1 billion of tax relief for Virginians to go on top of the $4 billion of tax relief the year before. In total, $2,200 for the typical Virginia family of your money, money that you work hard for, money that you should keep. It included historic investments in job growth and in education and behavioral health, which I will talk about in a minute, and of course, public safety. See, when we came in, I asked everyone to put politics down and pick up common sense so that we could go to work together and, yes, move Virginia forward on that destiny, that destination of being the best place to live, work, and raise a family. See, because of the day one work that we all did together, I think we're all able to say collectively that we've delivered. And I don't mean me, I mean us. We have worked together to move Virginia mightily to that city on the hill that I know we should all be. See, so many people spend time trying to divide us, and everything becomes an either-or moment. We can either do this or we can do that. But because of the momentum in the Commonwealth today, we are in these unique and moments, these both and moments, where we can provide tax relief and we can provide record investment in education, in law enforcement, and in behavioral health. We can do both, and that is so exciting to me. And as we continue to grow, and particularly see Chesterfield County grow as potentially the fastest growing county in the Commonwealth. I haven't seen the latest data, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're there. Both the opportunities and, of course, the responsibilities that come with growth fall so much on all of you. And that's why it is so important that we continue to support you. See, lower cost of living and strong education and safe communities bring more people. They bring more people, and that's the exciting part. But I think one of the great statements that we collectively made that I am so proud that we have been able to keep is to radically change the way that we support law enforcement in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's a multiple-step process. We first had to change the rhetoric and the culture. And I will be clear over and over and over again. We back the blue. Full stop. You've got a lieutenant governor in Winsome Sears. You have got an attorney general in Jason Miars. You have a governor. You have a House. And I hopefully will be able to say you'll have a Senate that wholeheartedly backs the blue. That's where we start. What does that translate into? That translates into first understanding that every day you go to work, you put on a bulletproof vest. Every day you go to work, You put others' safety in front of yours. Every day you go to work, you're confronted with decisions that need to be made real-time decisions that the average person can't conceive. And every day you go to work, you rely on each other. Well, I also want you to know that you can rely on us, because we will constantly have your back, because I know you have ours. Oftentimes we translate this into budgets and funding, and I guess that's the reality, and that's where I think we put our money where our mouth is. And in the budget of 2022, we took a giant step of wholeheartedly changing the priority of law enforcement in our budget process. There was in excess of $400 million added to the budget cycle to raise starting salaries, to fund training and equipment, to add school resource officers in schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia, to fund necessary intervention programs and witness protection programs. Hugely important. We came back again in 2023, and we jumped in yet again. We again decided that we were going to prioritize so many of the issues that I know are facing law enforcement. On the direct law enforcement side of things, it was critical that we feed into Operation Ceasefire, run out of the Attorney General's office, that funds prosecutors, and it funds witness protection. It was really important that $30 million was added to 13, and we had that whole program up to $43 million now. We added $10 million in support of victims from mass violent crimes. We added $7.6 million to address salary compression, particularly in our sheriff's departments across Virginia. We added $5 million to support TDOs and ECOs and extra transportation activities. We added $2.1 million in incremental 599 funding so that we can direct more money into our police departments around the Commonwealth. $1.3 million into crime victim witness programs. Another $1.7 million into internet crimes against children. $1 million into the witness protection program that I discussed. And all of that is in addition to the extraordinary effort that we are collectively making to address our behavioral health crisis in the Commonwealth. You see, the system is wildly overrun. It is such a crisis for us. Coming out of the pandemic, where Virginia was shut way too long, our schools were closed. We were 44th in the nation in getting our kids back in schools. Businesses were closed. Places of worship were closed. And coming out of it, we do see the most acute behavioral health crisis that I think we've ever witnessed. Our system is overwhelmed. And as part of our mass transformation of our behavioral health system, one of the very top objectives is to relieve the burden on law enforcement. I understand the burden that we place on you. You are the first call made. When you arrive and you have a behavioral health problem, you know you are the first one there. And I know it's such a challenge. And so in our system, we are adding more funding, yes, to provide for relief on TDOs and ECOs. We had a great legislative session to provide off-ramps for so many Virginians that should in fact go home as opposed to a hospital or into a law enforcement facility. But we also made sure that we had alternative transportation and incremental staffing in order to relieve the burden that is on so many of you so often. But on top of that, we are overhauling the entire system. And this is so important because we have to have preventative work up front to try to keep people out of crisis, and then we have to have multiple options in order to help people that are in crisis. Mobile crisis units, crisis receiving centers, yes, with a front door for people to walk in off the street, but also a side door where you as law enforcement heroes can immediately access the kinds of facilities that allow you to execute a TDO, and so that Virginian can get the help they need and that you can return to really the duty that you were hired to perform. This is a massive effort. It will not happen tomorrow, but we're already seeing great progress. You know, I was hoping that we would have 70 mobile crisis units to work alongside you all that could go to where the problems are. Today we're at 85 before we even begin to invest thoroughly the funding that we just signed in to the most recent budget. In all, $200 million is going into our behavioral health transformation, on top of the work that has been going in to support all of you in your primary duty to keep us all safe. The net of all of this is I just want to communicate to everyone here and to law enforcement heroes across the Commonwealth, we have your back. We're working hard in order to make things better. We take great counsel along the way from leadership. We constantly need to hear back, what more do we need to do? And that's where the relationship between the colonel, the sheriff, all of the associations is so important. And so we invite it. I have to say that our Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Terry Cole, is not with us today because he is staffing in across the Commonwealth response teams to make sure that if there is unrest as a result of these uncalled for demonstrations in support of terrorists, that in fact we're ready. Terry Cole stands for all of you as well. Our administration does. And I just can't tell you how appreciative we are that we have the privilege of going to work for you. And so with that, to you, to all of your families, I ask for the Lord's protection to wrap around you a hedge of that protection, to encourage you, to encourage those in your teams to make sure that you work together in a way that represents the great training you've received. But most importantly, I ask for him to bless you each and every day. And with that, I will say, God bless you. God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and thank you for your tremendous service. Thank you.